Super Bowl 58. 49ers safety Tashawn Gibson was talking glowingly, as everybody does, about Patrick Mahomes, but he went a little overboard yesterday in talking just how special Patrick Mahomes is. But look, the key thing he said there, which I thought was funny, is all you got to do is catch the ball.
Yep.
Because that's been the bugaboo of the Kansas City Chiefs, but also shows you the respect everybody has for Mahomes' ability. Why are you smiling like that?
I'm smiling because I'm a receiver, so immediately I take offense to that statement. Immediately.
It's like the Geico caveman.
Yeah,
it's so easy. A wide receiver.
His disposition, everything that he said, he doesn't mean any ill will against anyone. All I hear is, oh, really? Anybody can do it.
All you got to do is catch the ball.
All you got to do is catch the ball. I hear you. I hear you talking about us, huh? Okay.
That's the first time I've seen Greg personally offended. And I've been trying for a year and a half to get him there. Any more stuff like that about Mahomes and for all the quotes this week. But let's go over to Jacoby as we get more into Super Bowl 58.
So one of the things that's so exciting about the Super Bowl is just how evenly matched these two teams are, right? The spread says it. All the analysis that you've heard, everything that you've read, everything you've done says it. But Craig, a simple question for you. Does one of these two teams have an obvious advantage over the other?
And it's funny to me that here we are on Thursday, the Super Bowl, and even us, we didn't talk about it Monday, we didn't talk about it Tuesday, and we didn't talk about it yesterday. This is the benefit of me not sleeping, is all the research I get to put into the show. There is one, and for me, only one, clear-cut advantage between the two teams. When you talk about them collectively, obviously you can go position by position. Mahomes is better than Purdy and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
But from a team standpoint, and it is glaring, San Francisco, and you can check the stats, I'm sure we're going to put something up here for you. San Francisco, the number one scoring offense in the second half of the NFL all year long. Best second half offense in the league. Kansas City, the exact opposite. They're not dead last, but they're pretty damn close. Yep. They're 28th, which, as you can see there, is fifth worst in the NFL. And, of course, that reared its ugly head in the AFC Championship game, which I know they won, obviously. They got held scoreless in the second half of that game against Baltimore. So while we open the show by telling you this is a race to 20, right? If you score more than 20 points in your San Fran, you're going to win the game, meaning you're going to win the Super Bowl in the first half, because Kansas City doesn't have a come-from-behind offense and is one of the worst second-half offenses in all of football. And to me, that's glaring, and that is a huge advantage for San Francisco.
Yeah, you're right, Craig, because if you go back to that second half, it was Purdy committing to Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey breaks off an 8-yard run. The next play, it's a play action to Debo across the middle. Big play, right? So because that play action allowed that linebacker core to get sucked in, and they allowed Brock Purdy to say, all right, now I got him. Now it's a cat. Now it's a chess match. So when you look at the second half for the Niners going forward, man, it was the run game, committing to Christian McCaffrey, delivering the football through the play action, and Brock Purdy being instinctive running the ball.
Yeah, but you're talking about an offense, even though it's a great Patrick Mahomes there, that averages about a touchdown total in the second half. And it's not like I'm cherry picking one game and one stat, just to abuse a point. This is over the course now of the entire season.
Yep.
So if you start talking, Greg, about, who are you? Well, I've got enough evidence now from a 20-week span to tell you that Kansas City does not come from behind often in the second half to win games.
And they haven't had to. And the reason why they haven't had to is because, as you mentioned, the 49ers and their offense being one of the best in the National Football League in the second half, the Kansas City Chiefs defense happens to be the best second half defense.
I didn't do that research.
But you kind of did. Since week 14, look at these numbers.
That's cherry picking. That's what we call that.
They are staggering.
Cherry picking.
Like when you look at, they are only allowing 4 points a game. So when we heard Patrick Mahomes in one of his either pre or post game press conferences, he mentioned, we don't have to really score a whole lot of points. Our defense has been that good. We kind of hear that and we're like, what? You're Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
This is what you guys are. Offense, blowing up the scoreboard, all the things. But they haven't had to be that all season long because of how great their defense is. They have played to the strength of this year's team. And this year's team's strength has been their defense does not give up a ton of
Now,
points.
here's where I have to step in and be the adult in the room, if you guys don't mind.
That's
because
exactly what we do
I hear what you're saying. I respect what you're saying. It's not an attack on you. It's more of an attack on our lousy researcher. Because what you guys did, here's what you guys did. You cherry-picked. You're a habitual cherry-picker.
That's what we all do, Craig.
And
we all cherry-pick.
I didn't cherry-pick.
Okay.
I give you a season-long stat that nobody can argue. So why don't we take a look from Week 14 on at who the Kansas City Chiefs played before we start talking
that's cherry-picking. That's the definition of cherry-picking.
I'm responding to the cherry-picking. I'm responding to the cherry-picking. Oh, my gosh. They played the Jake Browning Bengals. Well, what a great job they did in that game. Right. Oh, my God. They played the LA Chargers, a team without a coach and a quarterback not playing, a guy named Justin Herbert. Oh, what a great job they did in that game. Oh, they beat Aiden O'Connell and the Raiders. Oh, what a great job. Oh, yeah, they lost that game. Good job. That's right. That's right. They only scored 14 points that game, and Aiden O'Connell beat them. Oh, before that, they beat Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones and the Patriots. Oh, my gosh. Oh, that's so fantastic. What a great job the Kansas City defense did.
There was the playoffs.
Oh, I was going to say, can we continue? Keep going. Playoffs.
Oh, in 30 below zero weather with 90-mile-per-hour winds. They beat a team from South Florida. Oh, let's give them the trophy right now. Great job.
Continue.
Great job.
Continue.
Then they gave up 24 points to the Buffalo Bills and couldn't stop the run all afternoon. And then they beat the Baltimore Ravens. I'll give you one. And by the way, in that game against the Ravens, how great were they in the second half?
5 punts.
Terrible. Terrible in the second half.
What I find interesting about this conversation is when you think about the Kansas City Chiefs, I always think about Patrick Mahomes with the ball with under 2 minutes left, willing this offense down the field, getting a field goal or a touchdown to win the game. That has not been the case.
No.
It hasn't. It's the defense.
Dude, they haven't scored 30 points this year on offense. They don't blow anybody out on offense. They only score about a touchdown a game in the second half all year long on offense. And I know this is a very good defensive team. I'm not going to suggest it's not. And Steve Spagnuolo's won like 9 Super Bowls, so that guy's not overwhelmed by the moment. And has done a great job rebuilding, frankly, a defense in real time over the last 3 or 4 years, making that secondary very, very good, obviously. But I think sometimes, and I understand why, because the guy you see on your screen right there, because he's so special, because we've seen him do it as a younger player, obviously in that first Super Bowl. We've seen him do it in AFC Championship games. We've now seen him do it successfully on the road as an underdog. And I think sometimes, and I can't speak for you guys, but I can speak for the American collective, we get kind of bamboozled by just how great he is. He's one of the great players we've ever seen, so we can't fathom him not making a play to win the game. But, man, I got a big body of work, and my body of work tells me that it is a San Francisco Super Bowl, and if Kansas City's trailing at halftime, go to bed. You ain't got to watch Usher.
Go to bed.
That's right, go to bed. Because if San Francisco has a halftime lead, it's a wrap.
Usher.
I mean, I got the stats to back it up, kids.
No.
I got the stats.
What's frustrating about that
Can't
is
even name 3 Usher songs anyway.
What are you talking about?
What?
Are you? Can you name 3 Usher songs?
He's got one song, and Little John's the star of it. Go ahead.
Craig.
See, now that's how that's why you don't get invited to the barbecue.
You did a great job with the 20 thing. You did a great job in the second half.
Everything worked.
Everything was so good up until you said Usher.
Usher has now a top 10 hit in 23 years. Let's make him the halftime show. Anyway, go ahead. What were you saying?
You stumped me with that one. I didn't know. You just got my brain. You got Jacoby came and looked at the camera with that one.
Yeah, maybe Usher will do Billy Joel did come out with a song no one wants to hear.
Oh God, Billy Joel. No, I think you're. Listen, I also think for the Chiefs' standpoint, it's not about just starting the first half playing immaculate football. You go back to Patrick Mahomes being damn near unstoppable in the first half. What has to happen for the Chiefs going into the second half, I think, to combat what the Niners can do in the second half, is really rely on not only the run game, but really trust this receiving core. Like we saw MVS come up big in certain situations. You saw Travis Kelce become big. But I think you now have another carrier. You got to now allow Rashee Rice to blow the top off this defense. Use him, make him a big threat receiver.
I'll tell you what,
that's
though,
how you open up the offense.
you better be tired or have the lead at halftime because you're not coming back in the second half, and there's proof positive of that. Hey there, thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.